So in the next several videos, I'm going to be bringing much of what we learned into focus by building some labs. And these are labs that you can follow along with and you can try to build yourself as well. So these are going to be CCNA level labs. So I'm going to try to keep it constrained to just stuff that you would need to know for the CCNA routing and switching exam. So to begin with, we're going to start by building a CCNA EIGRP level lab. Now, if you're building your own labs, before you get onto GNS3 or anything else, you should always do the same set of steps. The very first step you should do is write down on a piece of paper or open up Notepad or something and write out what the objectives are that you want for your lab. What do you want to learn? What do you want to practice? That way you don't end up going off into Never Never Land and never get around to what you actually meant when you started the lab in the first place. So that being said, I've created some initial objectives here for this lab. We're going to start with 4 routers. We're going to create some redundant paths. So we're going to create some paths that are really fast and some paths that are really slow, because part of the CCNA routing and switching is they expect you to know how EIGRP selects its best path and what you could do to force it to choose an alternative path. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing here as well. We're also, to that end, we're going to be using serial and Ethernet links in our topology. So we're going to configure EIGRP such that all the routers are in the exact same autonomous system. 2 of those routers are going to form a neighbor relationship using EIGRP authentication, because you need to know how to configure that and troubleshoot that for the CCNA. The end routers, the routers at either end of the topology, should use the slow speed link by the time we're all done. So if they're pinging each other, they should go across the slow speed link. So you're going to have to manipulate EIGRP to accomplish that. And we're also going to use the built-in Wireshark feature of GNS3 to actually capture some of the packets so we can see what the neighbor relationship looks like when it's being built and how EIGRP routers exchange routes. So that being the case, that is the objectives for this lab. And I have worked up here, this is the topology that we're going to end up building. I'll make this a little bit larger. So this is what I'm going to create. And I've put in the IP addresses here. I put in a couple of loopbacks so that we can ping each other. And this is what we are going to build. So at this point, if you want to try to recreate this yourself, I'm going to bring this video to a close right now. Before you start up the next video, go ahead, try to build this if you can and get it working so that when, for example, if pings initiate from router 1 and they're pinging the loopback of router 4, they should take the slow speed serial link, both there and back on the reply. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and close off this video, and in the next 4 or 5 videos, I'm going to go through the process of actually building this and making it work. So if you get stuck anywhere along the way, you can go to some of those other videos and see how I did it.